Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video, as you can see by the title, is another one of my The Thing About videos that I like to do and people get really upset by, but like it is what it is. I like talking about people who are like generally loved, but there's still controversy like under the surface. And today's topic, we're going to talk about Maia Knight, who is a mommy TikToker with over 8 million followers on TikTok and counting. She's growing all the time. And I really want to talk about her just because I've seen a lot of things about her, specifically about the fact that she has a Reddit page that's like super active, that a lot of people go on there to bash her on. And I just want to talk about kind of the controversy and why people dislike her and my view on everyone's takes about her. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we do get into this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. So first, let's just talk about who Maia Knight even is for those who don't know. So Maia Knight is a single mom from New York. She's the mom of twin girls, Scout and Violet, and she's a super big TikToker. Again, she has like over 8 million followers on TikTok, and she's only been on TikTok since summer of 2021. So she, in less than a year, she's gotten 8 million followers, and I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon. Personally, my algorithm loves her. Even when I wasn't following her, I followed her before she had 1 million followers, and then I unfollowed her just because certain things that she said I didn't really like, and then I refollowed her because I was like, oh, maybe I'm just being sensitive. And I watch her videos all the time, and it's just weird of me like not to, I'm whatever. Anyways, I decided to follow her again, and in that time where I had unfollowed her, her videos kept popping up on my For You page, and they pop. Like, her videos always do super well, get millions of views. So she's really like the main mommy vlogger, TikToker on the platform right now. And honestly, that's all we really know about her. You know, she lives in just a small town in New York and does it on her own. You know, the father of the two babies is not in the picture, decided from like day one that he didn't want to be in the picture. So she's been completely doing it alone ever since she was pregnant. And yeah, so she's been doing it alone, and she decided to make a TikTok and kind of document her experience, especially because she's a stay-at-home mom. So she wasn't really doing anything except interacting with her kids. So then she made a TikTok, it blew up, and now we're here. Now, why is she so big? I think it's obvious. Number one, mommy TikTokers, mommy vloggers are always going to be big. Why? Because everybody loves kids. Everybody loves babies, and cute kids are always going to make money. Point blank period. They're always going to get views. They're always going to make money. That's just what it is. Whether people like it or not, cute kids are cute kids, and we can't deny that her kids are freaking adorable. Her babies are so cute, can't even stand it. They're like one right now, like they're like one in a few months, so like they're at that peak cuteness stage where they're like they can't really talk, they're just now walking and like getting into things. Like, they're adorable kids. And honestly, I think that a lot of her appeal also comes from the fact that she's not one of those super put together moms that we see a lot of the time on social media. You know, she's not one of those moms that has like a solid super down routine for her kids, or is like one of those moms that does everything by the book and super perfectly. And she, to me, is more relatable. She, to me, reminds me more of how my mom kind of was. My mom was never one of those moms that was like super scheduled or super by the book. She just kind of took everything day by day. Of course, she has like a schedule for her kids, but it's not like super routine, and she's young, and yeah, people just like the fact that she's much more relatable to us than other moms on the platform, especially also because she is a Gen Z mom, very like early Gen Z, like one of the first Gen Zers, but she's technically Gen Z, I think. Or maybe she's like either like super late millennial or like early Gen Z. So she relates more towards the younger crowd that TikTok appeals to. And I just think that she makes her TikToks fun and interesting. And again, her kids are adorable. So it's always an easy watch when you're watching her videos. And she did these videos where like she would make their bottles and hold them and things like that and just talk about their day. And people just really enjoyed her videos, so her videos blew up. Now we're going to get into the criticisms that she's been receiving as of late. And honestly, the criticisms that she's been receiving her entire TikTok career. But some of them I think are more alarming than others. And we're going to start off with the first and most glaring criticism that I think every TikTok mom or social media mom receives. Whenever a mother specifically, because I don't see this as much for fathers, but then again, just being real, more mothers have TikToks, YouTube, social media, whatever the case may be, than fathers. But a lot of these TikTok moms get the same criticism that they're exploiting their children by filming them without their permission and making money off of the content that they create of their children. If you look on her social media, all of her social media is just her twins. And then also in this picture, they're all wearing merch made of the girls. And it's all merch with their little nicknames. People in the comments of her TikToks call them everything but their names. So they'll call them like Scotch and Vodka or just little different nicknames that they use. Kind of like an inside joke with her and her followers, and a lot of this merch is based off of the children. Also, she films the children at least 2 or 3 times a day, and puts out TikToks, at least 2 or 3 times a day, not including, her posting on like her Instagram stories or whatever the case may be. So her children are very visible every day, all the time. And people see this as exploitation, and they have, well, hopefully, if people are being, honest, they have the same criticisms for all TikTok moms or, YouTube moms or whoever, people that show their children on the internet. And I think specifically one of the main things, especially about Maia, is that people are saying that she knows that she can't get an audience on her own, therefore she's using her children, and it's an exploitation of the children. So I think that's where the main criticism is, especially of her. Now, here's what I have to say about that. And I also think that it's going to be different for someone like Colleen Ballinger, who she became kind of like a TikTok mom influencer by happenstance, even though everyone knew her already because she was Miranda Sings. Or maybe someone like Kylie Jenner, even though obviously it's on a bigger scale, she shows her daughter Stormi. She doesn't show her son, but she shows her daughter Stormi, especially like earlier in her life, much more. But it's not the same because people are going to come for Kylie anyways. So people are really saying that she's exploiting her kids to not only make money, but to also make herself famous. Now, personally, I understand what people are saying when they talk about exploiting children. And I think that in a lot of ways, people do exploit their children on the internet. I see this a lot more with kids who are like older. So like kids who are like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 who can make these decisions as to whether they're going to be filmed or not, and who can be exploited in different ways and who are more likely to be targeted by people who unfortunately like little kids. That's the reality of it. I think that a lot of times, like when I see videos of kids like that age where they're very much visible on the internet, that's when I get more worried. But as far as this situation with Maia, her children are 1 year old. They're 1. They're young babies, and babies, number one, can't make decisions about anything. They don't know what TikTok is. They don't know what video is. They just know that, they're just living their life, and their mom, they don't even know that they're being filmed. So I think that in one way it could be taken as, yes, that's definitely exploitative because they don't know, so they can't consent. I can see that argument, but I can also see the flip side of that argument, which is that they can't consent, so why would she have to ask permission? I follow another TikTok mom, Shantea of the Hoar Boys, and her 3-year-old son, sometimes he'll say he doesn't want to be filmed, and she just doesn't film him. So I don't think that these people are going into it trying to exploit their children's privacy. I just think that they see it as, well, they can't consent anyway, so I don't really see the problem with it. Once they can consent, and if they don't, then I'll stop filming them. I think that might be her mindset, but I don't know. They haven't gotten to that age yet. And I think that what a lot of people fail to realize about these mommy TikTokers, mommy vloggers, YouTubers, whatever the case may be, is that the reason why a lot of them do this is because they are so isolated. Maia is 26. She's young. She has twin 1-year-olds and lives in a small town in New York by herself, and she's a stay-at-home mom. That can be a very isolating situation. Really, all stay-at-home moms in one way or another are pretty isolated from the outside world, from the adult world, from other people their age. And they want to find a way to connect, and they want to find a way to kind of share their life and things like that. And I've seen that a lot of women say, when they're stay-at-home moms and they make these videos, that the reason why they do it is to just kind of connect with the outside world. And from someone who had a stay-at-home mom, I completely see that. My mom, she was a stay-at-home mom for basically my entire childhood. And even though my siblings and I are grown now pretty much, she still doesn't really have friends. She still doesn't connect with people on social media that much, or she's pretty kind of isolated, not because of any bad situation, but just because that's how it goes when you're a stay-at-home mom. She had 4 kids, Maia has 2 kids who are young. That's how it goes when you are a stay-at-home mom. So can I say that it's 100% exploitation that she's putting her children online? I can't say that. I don't know her intentions. I think that people are assuming her intentions just because they think things are weird. Do I think the merch is kind of weird? Yes, merch for babies is weird, strange, but I also don't think that she's really looking at it as exploiting her kids. From what I've seen of her, I think that she really does care for her children, and she's young, and I think that she'll make mistakes as a mother, and she'll make some young-minded mistakes. She's from the YouTube generation where everybody made merch for everything. So she's looking at it as, well, people want merch from me. What am I supposed to do? And that's what she comes up with. Is it in poor taste? I kind of think so. In a way, I think so. But at the same time, I don't think that it was bad intentioned. And if it's not, an ill-intentioned act, I can't be extremely mad at it. I can't say that she's exploiting her children. I think that that's a stretch to say that off of the videos that I've seen of her, and I watch a lot of her content. I can't say that she's exploiting her children. I can't say that. Now, going hand in hand with that, another criticism, and this is something I kind of touched on earlier, is the fact that she's not protecting her children's privacy. People have said this about, again, a lot of mommy vloggers, a lot of mommy YouTubers, that they're not protecting their children from people who are actively seeking children, if you get what I'm saying. The Josh Duggars of the world, people like that. She's not really protecting the children or anything like that. But again, I don't really think that that's a super valid criticism unless she's seen a lot of these people, which I don't think that she has. I think that I don't see that she's really seen that. She gets a lot of comments, she gets a lot of followers. So I don't think that she's able to super regulate that. And I don't think that that's something that she's really looking at, and maybe it should be something that she's really looking at, but I think that that's more of something that gets brought up with like older kids. Like I've seen videos of people talking about kids who are 8, 9 years old, who their parents put them in little like bikinis and have them like have their own Instagrams, and all of the Instagram followers are just weird, creepy, nasty men. Like, so at the end of the day, I think that Maia Knight's following, it doesn't really show that I mean, of course, there are going to be those people out there. I'm certain that there are those people out there. But from what she shows of her children and from what her following mostly is, I don't think that she's really seeing that or looking at it that way, if that makes sense. Now, another criticism that Maia specifically receives very heavily is that she is a neglectful, they're just saying that she's a bad mom in terms of how she actually treats her kids. And people basically say that she's neglectful, that she neglects her children, and point to specific videos that she's posted where the babies are maybe playing in something that they shouldn't be playing in, like dirt, or like not just playing in it but eating it. Just recently she actually posted a video where she was talking about how her babies were digging in a dirty diaper and just things of that nature. There was also a video that she posted where her dogs had gone to the bathroom all over the floor, and the babies like picked up the whatever, and they like just stuff like that, that people really have an issue with. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert some of those clips right here so that you can get kind of an understanding of what is actually being shown in these videos.
Okay, I just tried to record a whole morning TikTok and I accidentally left it on fast speed, and I was talking and Scout came over and handed me something and it was dog shit. So, and I literally got it on camera, but it was in 3 times speed. But yeah, so I hadn't gone out in the living room or the kitchen yet, or the living room or the playroom yet, and literally there's just piles of dog shit and throw up everywhere. That was so fun. So I had to trap them in their car seats because I don't have anywhere I can like get them away from it because I kept on trying to touch it. Yeah. So that's my morning. If you want a dog or 2, hit me up because I'm rehoming. Yeah, say those dogs are gone. Gone. Also, when I was in North Carolina, I went wake surfing and I broke my leg. I don't know if you... I was in bed watching Ellen Fisher's new YouTube video, and the babies are being very quiet, so let's go see what they're doing. What are you doing? Are you playing in Mom's new plants? Oh. Uh-oh. Scout, what are you doing? She's completely ignoring me. What are you doing? Are you supposed to be doing that? You are? Say yay! Do you like playing in the dirt? Oh, that's so yummy. You probably shouldn't eat that. Can Mom have it? Thank you. Hey, you. Good thing Kelsey just mopped my floors yesterday. Are you a plant girl?
Now, in regards to the last video that I showed, the one where the kids were digging in the dirt and things like that, I went through the Maia Knight Reddit page, which is where a lot of this criticism is coming from, by the way. If you want to look at it, it's there. It's pretty big, again, like I've stated earlier in the video. But I saw some points being made about how she had to have known that they were digging in the dirt, and obviously babies are gonna put it in their mouth, and she knew that, and then she grabbed her camera and then walked in and like kind of did a whole entrance, kind of Ace Family-esque type of like, you know, acting as if you're just catching your kid doing something cute or doing something they're not supposed to do, and then filming yourself doing it, basically staging the entire thing. And honestly, with these points, you know, there's a lot of like little videos where she'll say certain things, or like people will get mad that she lets her babies, like she leaves the bottles with her babies in their cribs, and people are saying like that'll give them an ear infection and things of that nature. And to those points, number one, she is a single parent. These are her first kids, and she's doing this alone. That's number one. Like, I think that we need to have a lot of grace for people, specifically because I know, like, from my experience growing up as a kid, and I'm the oldest, so I watched my siblings grow up, and I watched how my mom dealt with kids. Some of the things that we would get into, like, if my mom had filmed that, the entire world would be so upset. Like, I know that my little sister, she liked to put pens in her mouth. And one time she decided that she needed a pen in her mouth, and we would take things out of her mouth. But of course, baby's gonna cry. Baby's gonna do whatever baby's gonna do. And so baby puts the pen in her mouth, walks around, and then like runs into the coffee table and scrapes the roof of her mouth with the pen. Now, if that story had been shared by Maia Knight, literally people would be calling for her kids to be taken away. Like, things like this kind of just happen. No child is going to have a perfect childhood where they don't get hurt, or they don't get into things that they're not supposed to get into, and the mother is just perfectly watching them at all times. That is completely unrealistic. And for people to expect that of her is absolutely ridiculous. Like, that to me, it just holds no weight, some of the things that they say, because it's almost expecting her to be a perfect mother. Especially, again, she's young and doing this on her own. Okay, a lot of this stuff, like when she's talking about her dogs, should her dogs have all of that everywhere? No, especially not around her children. And I'm fairly certain that she's going to fix that problem. I feel like if it's a one-off, then it's a one-off. If it's a recurring problem, then I feel like these criticisms would have more weight. They would hold more weight. But considering that these are clearly like one-off situations, except for the dirt thing, I thought it was weird that like she like walked back in. It seems like she like walked back in and filmed that. So that to me is a little strange, and it's giving very like chronic TikToker vibe. That's what it's giving to me. But at the same time, if these are like one-off events, you know, your kid puts a rock in their mouth, now you gotta take it out their mouth. Kids do that. Kids get into things that they should not get into. That's not neglect. That's just, kids get into things, you know. You can't have your eyes on your kids 100% of the time. If that's neglect, then nobody should have their kids. Like, people need to like chill out. And I think a lot of these people are either projecting, they're jealous, they just want something to hate on because they already don't like her, because some of this criticism is honestly ridiculous. Should these babies be able to get into these things, and should, you know, the dogs be able to kind of roam free and like do whatever? Of course not. But at the same time, who hasn't had their kids have like really bad accidents? Who hasn't had their kids get into things that they shouldn't get into, swallow things that they shouldn't swallow? That's literally what kids do. And yeah, I think it's amplified because she's posting this. If I were her, I just wouldn't post it, because I would know that like people are gonna just go nuts on me. But at the same time, people just shouldn't be going nuts on her for things like this. I feel like it's just way too harsh criticism for what it actually is and the reality of having children actually is. Now, the next criticism is a criticism that I've kind of had myself. So no, this isn't just like a Maia Knight stan video just trying to defend her, because I know that a lot of people that might come from Reddit and like watch this video, or a lot of people who don't like her, will think that I'm just completely defending her 100% of the time, because no, I do think that Maia's drinking is a little bit excessive around her kids. Now, hear me out. Do I think that parents are allowed to drink in front of their kids? Yes. In moderation, I repeat, in moderation, yes. Do I believe that parents should ever get drunk in front of their kids? Absolutely not. I don't think that parents should get drunk in front of their kids. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but like me, myself, I know myself. I mean, I don't have kids yet, so you know, but I know that I'm one of those people where like I couldn't get drunk in front of my kids or just really any children in general. Like, just drunkenness in front of kids is just not okay. Has she ever posted videos of herself drunk in front of her kids? Of course not. Well, okay. So Maia posts a lot of videos where like she'll go to not a bar, but she'll go to like one of those like maybe a sports bar restaurants with her kids and her friends, and she'll go and she'll have like a margarita or two, and every time she goes out she gets a drink. Like, she ain't gonna pass up a drink, which, you know, hey, to each their own. And she likes to drink White Claws a lot. I've noticed that, like, for a while, like, one thing about her, she will have a White Claw. Like, she will have a White Claw. And I do remember some videos, if I don't think I'll be able to find them, but I do remember videos where like she's like, oh, this is like maybe my fourth White Claw, or like, you know, whatever the case may be, and you kind of can tell that she's feeling good and she's home alone with the kids. Now, one thing that I will always prescribe to, one belief that I'll always just have, is that whatever they're showing on camera is amplified 10 times more in real life. Like, what you show on camera as far as lifestyle, it's either completely 100% fake, or it's a very watered down version of what is real, if you get my drift. You know what I'm saying? So with her drinking as much as she does around the kids, and quite frankly, I know a lightweight when I see one. She gives lightweight. Like, I'm sorry, I know a lightweight when I see one. Like, she's gonna be drunk after like not a lot. And the way that she drinks and how much she drinks, it is a little concerning to me. Do I think that she's an alcoholic, a drunk? No. Do I have reason to believe that the drinking has ever actually been a problem with her kids? No, I don't. I'm not gonna sit up here and just accuse her of now being an alcoholic, terrible mother, and, you know, no, because that's not what I've seen. However, I do think it is fair to kind of be concerned a little bit, or just the fact that she drinks as many White Claws as she drinks sometimes home alone with her kids, that can be concerning. I mean, I don't know what her actual limit is. She gives what lightweight to me. Like, she gives lightweight, because again, I know a lightweight when I see one. But at the same time, like, it's just a concern, okay? There's never been an actual incident, at least as far as we know from what we see. There's never been an actual incident where her drinking has become a problem for her kids. So that is what it is. You know, if she can drink responsibly with her kids around, great. But I do think that it might be excessive. It might be. But that's just something that I've always kind of felt weird about, you know, taking your kids out and, you know, you're out and you're drinking, and, you know, it's just not the best thing. And I don't think it's the best thing for her to necessarily share it on TikTok, just because, you know, you don't want to show everybody what you're doing, especially something like that, because that could be an actual valid concern that people have. And you don't want to have to keep defending yourself as to why you're drinking around your infant children. You know, you don't want to have to keep defending yourself. Now, last but not least, there's just criticism about Maya's best friend, Jillian. She goes by Auntie Jillian on TikTok, and she's like just known for being Maya's best friend. People assume that they're like sisters or twins themselves, and she's like always around the kids. She's always on Maya's TikTok, whatever the case may be. Now, the only reason I'm mentioning this and bringing up the controversy with Auntie Jillian is really just because people are kind of saying, how can you be friends with someone like this? You claim to have certain views, but then you're friends with someone who clearly has very different views. And so people kind of exposed her Twitter and like the things that she's said on Twitter and like messages. I don't know how real this stuff is, but I thought it would be just interesting to mention in the video, just because again, I think that there is something valid to be said about the idea that, how are you friends with someone who is racist or this or that? Do I think that just because your friend might have said racist things in the past, that means that you're racist? No, but I do think that birds of a feather flock together, and at the same time, like, they've been friends for years. And these tweets, these screenshots aren't super old or anything. So, like, clearly she held a certain view. Again, like, I'm not saying that this is, like, super valid, but it is something that's been kind of getting big on Reddit, on TikTok, on social media platforms. So I might as well just mention it. Now, if I'm speaking my truth, I don't think that she should face backlash for some of the things that were mentioned in there. I think that people need to stop acting like everyone thinks the same way politically. Especially, I sometimes, like, when I see like the whole like political fights on Twitter, it's giving very much like white on white crime. It's so interesting to me. But I do think that like her like using the N-word and like making fun of black people, girl, like, I was like, well, I mean, was I shocked? No. Funny enough, I actually watched a TikTok on Maia's second account, because she has another account where it's more just her answering questions and like more personal, like, to her. And she talked about how, like, she grew up in like this like very racist town, like small community racist town. And then you see what Jillian allegedly did. I don't know how real these things are, but people are kind of taking them and running with them. But like, you kind of see like what Jillian was like saying on social media, certain messages that she might have sent, might not have sent, but it kind of all adds up as like, I don't know. And it's interesting that Maia mentioned that recently, because all of this controversy around Jillian has been pretty recent, I think in the past, maybe couple of weeks. So I know that Maia knew about it because she knows about the Reddit page. I know that she knows about it. So it's interesting that she mentioned that as kind of like a one-off thing, but I don't know. It's just food for thought. I feel like all of it is just very interesting to me. That's all I have to say, is that it's interesting. And they're best friends. So if Jillian really did say those things, like if Jillian really was like super racist or like, said certain things, like, she would be comfortable to say it around Maia. So that's where I think the criticism turns towards Maia, where it's like, did you know about this? How are you still friends with someone like this? You say you stand for certain things, but then you turn around and you're best friends with someone who's doesn't stand for the same thing. So I do think that that's where the criticism could turn towards Maia, but I don't think that it's completely valid to just completely hate on Maia because of Jillian's actions, or alleged actions, I should say. So overall, here are my thoughts. If you have criticism as far as like Maia maybe exploiting her children or, things of that nature, I don't think that you should watch any mommy vloggers, because she's not any different than any other mommy TikTokers. I think that to me personally, from what I've seen and from what I've observed, going from like the Ace family being the worst to like others. I think that she's definitely on the much better side of the family vloggers, mommy vloggers, mommy TikTokers end. So if you don't like her, then you just shouldn't watch any of them. So I understand that criticism. I do think that it's valid. So if you have that criticism, just don't watch any of them because it's not going to be exclusive to her. She's the better end of the spectrum, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Do I think that there's valid criticism specifically concerning her? Yes, I do think that there's valid criticism there as well. Do I think that people are taking it to an extreme? Yes. I think that all moms really could be better in one aspect or another. There is no perfect mother. There is no perfect parent. So really anyone can receive criticism and it be valid. So when we're talking about, let's say, her maybe letting the kids get into things that they shouldn't get into, or not being completely 100% on top of things, do I think that she's a neglectful mother? Never. I think that she's a good mom. I do. From what I've seen, I know that she loves her children. I know that from what I've seen, it seems like she really does have their best interest at heart. But I think that everyone can grow and learn. And again, these are her first kids. Like, she's very new to this. So I think that, of course, she can get better. But I think people are going way too overboard with how much they're criticizing her. Do I think that maybe she should not drink as many White Claws? And whatever the case may be, maybe. I don't know, how much she drinks a day. And it doesn't seem like it's really affecting the children. But I do think that it might be an area that might be of concern. Okay, let's just put it that way. So yeah, I do think that people are taking little things and running with them, and they're blowing up situations that shouldn't be blown up as much, and they're really expecting perfection from her when that's never going to happen, and they're never going to receive that. So if you want perfection from her, unfollow her. Stop watching her. It's never going to happen. But if you're realistic and you think, oh, her content is relatable, oh, her content is enjoyable, then that's just what it is. It's not as deep as people try to make it out to be. And quite frankly, none of these kids care for her children as much as she does. So whatever criticism they have, at the end of the day, they need to also realize that she literally almost died giving birth to these children. Okay, I know none of the people on Reddit would have done that. Maybe they would have, but those aren't their kids. Like, she's the mama, she's the one who's raising them, taking care of them, being with them every day, named them, bathed them, clothed them, everything. She's doing that by herself. So when you go to criticize her mothering, remember that. Before you comment, remember that. And also, just concerning Auntie Jillian, I do think that, again, that might be a little valid. Do I think that Maia herself is racist or anything like that? I honestly don't know. I don't really see her interact with people other that aren't white. She says that she's not, she says certain things. I can only really take her word for it. She's never given off that vibe to me, but I do think it is weird that like her best friend has possibly said these things, and we're kind of making it seem like she wouldn't be involved. Like, of course, like, your best friend is going to say certain things to you, but overall, I think that she's a solid mom, and I don't really see her being like a horrible, terrible, ill-intentioned person. So yeah, that is it for this video. Please enjoy this obligatory picture of Justin Bieber as I close out. But those are my thoughts. That's the thing about Maia night. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think of her, your criticisms. If I'm missing anything, let me know in the comments section down below. But please be respectful. I feel like sometimes people can get like really rowdy. Like, please don't do that. Remember, like, we're talking about a human being here, and yeah, just don't get too rowdy. Anyways, yeah, go ahead and comment your opinion down below. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.